when you're sick, it always makes you stronger if you know there's someone beside you taking care of you. And paano? Dito, hindi pwedeng lapitan.
Healthy na kwentuhan, komportable ang usapan. Sagot ko na yan. Kaya share mo na. Dito sa Share Ko Lang.
Natuloy na ang matagal na planong paglipat ng komedyanteng si Ruby Rodriguez sa Amerika kasama ang kanyang 2 anak, ang isa na may special needs. Lahat silang magkakapatid ay naroon na, except one, ang kanyang ate na si Dr. Sally Gatchalian, isang pediatric infectious disease specialist at dating presidente ng Pediatric Society of the Philippines. Isa siya sa mga unang pumanaw last year dahil sa COVID infection.
March 15 was the lockdown and then talagang bumigay no March 20 and she passed away March 26. Of course, we were all devastated. It's just me and her who was there in the Philippines. And she was really my backer with this move. Kasi dito na nga iti-treat si AJ, no? Nung minute ko, check up na ni AJ to meet the doctor, the specialist, the primary, ganyan. She was with me. She was listening to the doctors. I had to introduce her that, you know, she's AJ's pediatrician in the Philippines, so she's here with us because she could explain to you better the AJ's situation and all. Siyempre, nung medical terms, sila na yung nag-uusap ng doktor. You know, she was really with me from morning till afternoon doing the rounds for my son. Kasi super love din niya si AJ. Super. Sa Philippines, 2 na lang kami na magkapatid. Lahat nandito na. So, she said, when I said, Mansal, if mag-move na ako, wala ko nang kasama. Sabi niya, hi, di better, more reason for me to travel. Ganyan. So, at least meron ako rason, hindi na magagalit sa akin si Ed.
I just remembered at the time, diba, it was really a lot of healthcare workers and doctors, siling una.
Linuloko ko. So, oy, Salvacion, magpa-check ka na. Baka mamaya COVID na yan. Ginaganon ko pa. Dahil talagang sabi namin, parang palala ka na ng palala. And we were able to convince her to go. And then, yun na nga. Malala na. Doctors naman are like that eh. They're in denial because they know the severity of the illness.
Saka it's hard to tell them to stop doing rounds, diba? To stop going, you know, kasi parang syempre I know it from the PPS side, diba?
Yeah.
Parang they felt, I remember at that time, they're trying to make sense, diba? Trying to figure out what to do and then trying how to get people safe. So actually, maraming activity yan eh.
Oh, sobra. I mean, and Sally was always in going out of the country, you know, may mga meetings siya kasi di ba nagda-WHO din siya. She's meeting, you know, people from China, Singapore. So sabi namin, pwedeng dun siya nahawa. So we really don't know where she got it. And then she'd go to RITM, di ba? Because
she's infectious disease specialist. Yeah. How did you as a family sort of process grief, di ba? Sort of at the time? Kasi kind of fast eh.
There are times here at night when I was alone, titingin ako sa taas. Then I'll think of her and I'll start crying. Kasi syempre siya yung supporter ko. And then, gaganyan ka. Of course, it still attacks you sometimes. Sasampalin ka minsan eh. Ngayon, nabibiro ko na. Dati talaga hindi. It's hard. Kasi syempre, parang hindi man lang namin siya nakita. We weren't able to, you know, hug her or say goodbye properly. Pero parang siguro mas madali ng kaunti kasi hindi mo siya nakitang naghirap. And then we didn't see her body lying down because if you're a COVID patient and you die, you get cremated right away. Hindi ka pwedeng expose sa tao. Hindi na namin siya nakita. Parang yun lang ang masakit na hindi ko man lang siya nakita. Maswerte pa ako kasi nakakausap ko siya sa telepono. Eh yung mga kapatid ko, hindi. On the day that, you know, she passed away and went with the Lord, we were all on the phone, nakaano kami, conference call, yung lahat kami, saying, you know, our messages to her early morning, and then kami lang, presence lang ng boses namin. And then Manong Ed would just like annotate what's happening, her BP, I will not go into details already with that. Siyempre kasi masakit na yun. And then, we'd ask, dumating na ba yung pare to give her last rites? And finally, the priest came. Right after the priest gave her last rite, siguro bilang ka ng 10, nag-flatline na. Parang hinintay rin lang niya. Yun.
Parang she just got permission. And it is time. The reason I also wanted to ask and talk about it, kasi there are a lot of people now, going through either fearing for their loved ones in the hospital. And kasi yun din, no? Like when I support clients who are going through this, yung aspect na hindi mo man pwedeng bisitahin, di ba? Hindi mo man pwedeng alagaan. The moment may diagnosis, boom, that's it. And then
ilalayo ka.
Yeah.
Ilalayo ka.
Ang hirap tanggapin to say that the change was super easy.
The only thing permanent in this world is change. We all know that. And I didn't just ayoko na, alis na ako. Hindi naman ganon. Before we decided to make the change na talagang, eto na. Medyo ayos-ayos naman kaagad. Kasi nga sabi nila, if you think about it, I'm very lucky because some who try to take the chances here in a different country, when they come here, they have no jobs, they don't know what to do, they don't know where to stay. I was very lucky because I had a place to stay and then I had a job right away. Because like I said, I went through the process. Nasa Pilipinas pa lang ako, nag-apply na ako. So I took all the application forms, necessary exams, the necessary requirement that has to be given and filed. Ginawa ko naman lahat yon bago ako pumunta dito dahil sinigurado ko muna na may trabaho ako bago umalis.
So parang something that looks like, wow, parang overnight. Kasi syempre sa atin, di ba, parang pag-artista. Di ba, parang hindi ko imagine.
But, once the showbiz blood is in your life, or in your blood, it's running na, the showbiz, hindi talaga mawawala. Kasi like here, sometimes they get me to, host special events and things like that. And, parang, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Kasi nasa sistema mo talaga.
Actually, parang, I know that if given the right project, right, you're still open. So a change one way or permanent?
No, like I say, the only thing permanent is change. So this change could change again, right? And when they asked me, are you going back? And I said, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I'm not gonna deny myself. I mean, ang pangit pakinggan, pero if the price is right, you'll take the job.
So I want to ask you and talk to you about, kasi diba, there was one very, very big reason why you and your family decided, diba, that you should move to the US. And it's for your child.
Yes.
Si AJ.
Yeah, AJ.
How old is he now?
He's 16.
I see. Okay. Can you sort of tell us, what was there in the US that prompted you to say, okay, this is the best thing for my family?
Well, for one, my son is a special ed student. Okay. I've never denied it ever since, he was young. I'm proud of it. Okay, he may be a 16-year-old, but he thinks like he's only 11. Okay, because he has intellectual disability. So we know that Philippines really have good schools. They have good, sped schools. But I also asked even the school where he goes to, like, saan po ba mas maganda? I know he's happier here because he's got friends here already. Sabi nila, we also get naman our materials from there. So if he can get a better education, then bring him there kung meron talaga kasing better education. Because like I said, we can always bring him back. That's one, education. Because all I dream for my son is to be a functioning member of the society, not a burden, but a functioning member. I don't care what job he takes. Basta, ang iniisip ko lang is like, what if we're gone? Yung wala na kami syempre na mag-aalaga sa kanya. We just want him to be able to function like a normal person, He'll be able to fend for himself na hindi siya aasa kung kani-kanino. And the second main reason is more than the education. This is the real main reason is his medical condition, because he has a very rare autoimmune problem, and he's being treated here with his status. He's a citizen, right? So he gets benefits. Mm-hmm. And the medication that's really, really, really nakakabutas ng bulsa, they give it to him here like for free because of his condition. So malaking tulong, not just to me, but to him, because he's being monitored. And if he's going to be medically better, healthier, then of course, I'll give up everything for him.
You work at the Philippine consulate, right?
Yes. I work for the government, yes. It's fun in the sense na pag nakaka-help ka, tapos lalo na pag mainit na yung ulo nila, and then I try to explain how it's done or the process. And then, kasi hindi ko naman siya ma-explain na seryoso, so parating merong nai-insert na patawa or something na hindi ko naman nisasadya. And they laugh. It makes it lighter. So kahit pa paano nakakatulong ka. So that's fun. So one of my colleagues kanina nga lang naka-video call siya. And then sabi niya, Ruby, mga kapatid ko ganyan. So I was saying hi. Tapos sabi ko, bakit nasa hospital nga daw yung mom? So apparently parang COVID yata. So not yata, it's COVID, confirmed. So while we were working already, mamaya sinabi sa amin that the mom passed away na. So bigla kaming tumigil lahat. Tapos out of the blue, we were all crying. Sabi ko, bakit tayo umiiyak? Tapos sabi ko, parang naalala ko bigla yung kapatid ko. Tapos yung iba biglang naalala yung mga magulang. And then one of my colleagues said, wait, sandali, tatawag lang ako sa nanay ko. Tumawag, tapos para lang sabihin, I love you, mommy. I mean, things like that. Lahat kami biglang, we all laugh and have fun there. We say jokes. But when we hear something like that, dun lumalabas na meron ka ring mga tinatago na agam-agam. I think that's the word. Yung loved ones mo nando doon, hindi ka makalipad. But, because first and foremost, if you want to go and see them, sorry, may konting aluha. Okay, so, uuwi ako ng Pilipinas na, kunyari, namatay yung isang mahal ko sa buhay. Paano? Pagdating mo dun, ika-quarantine ka ng 14 days or 10 days. Ano pang makikita mo? Wala na. Wala ka talagang aabutan. Diba?
Yeah. Like yung talagang, parang it was a really, even for us, kasi diba, we're mental health professionals. We're supposed to know, diba, how to help people through grief. But it's really the first time na, it's the kind of grief na hindi mo man nakita. Diba? Some of them, at least it sounded like you were lucky enough to send your words and your messages.
Yeah. I mean, even if you are a mental health professional, this is your first time also experiencing this. So kahit ikaw naloloka.
Sabi mo nga kanina, diba, the only thing permanent is change. So whatever direction, whatever versions of the future we will have with this, yun na nga, diba, I think our capacity to change, our capacity to adapt, and sabi mo nga, at some point, life has to go on.
Yeah.
Diba? Parang resume your plan of migrating, hindi pwedeng mawala just because, right?
Yeah. Kunyari, biglang, I have to do something else. Don't be scared. Nobody's too old, to try. Just have faith.
And then yun na nga, with all the changes, whether pandemic levels of change, or diba, scheduling change, or career change.
Parang, or love life change.
Life change, yes. Parang people can do is live their best lives. No matter, diba?
Yes.
No matter how it is.
I mean, no matter how it is, madaling sabihin, diba? Pagka sabihin mo na, when you fall, just stand up. Don't cry over spilled milk. Use your failure as a ladder to success. Diba? Maraming ganyan diba? Madaling sabihin pero mahirap kung minsan. Ako talaga, ang ginagamit ko parate is, yun na nga, God will always provide. His plan for me is always good. Parating ganyan. And then, yun na like kong sinasabi. And then I always say that whatever pain I had or fear, it makes me think, right? And if you think, if you use your brains, it gives you wisdom. Diba? And then if you have wisdom, then whatever it is you're going through, it makes your life more endurable kahit papano.
Yeah. Ako naman, what I tell people is that, when, di ba, parang when the environment really, di ba, gets overwhelming, our plans get derailed, and then, di ba, parang it seems you seem lost, directionless, you don't know where to go next.
Yeah.
Parang you go back to what's important. Di ba, to you. And no one else can tell you what that is. Diba?
Yes.
Sabi ko nga, what's important is your family, your son.
Yeah.
What's best for my
then
son.
Then you go back to that. Go back to your roots. You'll never go wrong.
Yeah. And as long as, diba, parang you're honoring what's important, you're making decisions for that value.
Yeah. Ilalaban at ilalaban mo.
Nasa sa atin kung makakabuti o hindi ang kahit anong pagbabagong kailangang pagdaanan. Dapat isipin kung ano at sino ang mahalaga sa ating buhay para handa tayong harapin ang anumang pagbabago na darating.
Mag-share kayo sa amin. Email us at sharekolang@gmanews.tv.